Last few sessions we have been discussing on a historical account of what happened to a king by name Parikshit. Can you recite his name?
Parikshit.
Don't be afraid, it's okay. Yeah. This king's name was Parikshit, and he happened to get a curse by a sage. We were discussing this last week. And Parikshit becomes aloof from his entourage, and he was just alone, very thirsty, very hungry. He goes to a hermitage, ashram of a sage by name Shamika. Is this possible? Shamika. Shamika. Yes. I'm going to get a few names today. The king was Parikshit, and the sage was Shamika. And Shamika was not like us. Right? When he would do meditation, he would be lost totally, not in worldly thoughts, but in transcendence. Right? So his mind would be submerged into the mantra. So if you are really good in the practice of yoga and meditation, we become walking mantra basically. Right? Our whole existence is just spiritual. So Shamik Rishi, or the sage Shamik, was like that. When he was in meditation, he was having no idea of who is coming in, who is going out. When somebody walks on the street, we there's something, right? Our mind immediately gets dragged. But for Shamik Rishi, it was not the case. He was fully inside his meditation. And then Parikshit walks in. He couldn't get any attention from the sage. And Parikshit becomes very angry. Imagine you're very hungry, extremely thirsty. You walked in here hoping that you could get some water. Maybe you should close it. Yeah. You want it open? Oh, for fresh air. Okay. Yeah, it's good for ventilation. We should check with Yolanda if we can open some of these windows here next time. It's okay. They're all sealed, I guess. Maybe. Yes, move it back. Okay. So Parikshit becomes very angry because he couldn't get any response from the from the sage. And he was disgusted. He was just walking away, and while walking away, he saw that there is a dead snake on the road. He just picked up his arrow and just threw it. And we do that, right? If there is something in the hand, you're walking out, you're disgusted, you're angry, and something is in, just do like this, right? And if you have Dutch usually don't play cricket, but in cricket there is a game called as cricket. When people get out and they can't bat anymore, sometimes they're disgusted, they throw their bat or do stuff like that. So Parikshit just took his arrow and just threw the snake, and the snake happened to go and fall at the neck of the sage. And even then, Shamik Rishi was having no idea, right, what's going on. But his son, who got to know about it, became extremely angry. Son of the sage. Yeah. Son of Shamik Rishi. Rishi means a sage. And these were scientists basically, just like we have modern scientists who do experiments in the laboratory. I am also having a PhD. So usually in your PhD program, you are just sitting in your laboratory for 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours a day, every single day, 6-7 years. You're just focused on one research topic. That's what I was doing 8 years ago, full day research. Eventually I have my PhD now, so I don't need to do research anymore. I just go for work. But the point is, a sage was a researcher in a different dimension. Their research was not outside, but was inside. Okay? They would get merged into this transcendence and they would do research there. They would explore the truths of the universe. Because micro level or macro level, universe has an order. Okay? There is not some chaotic random chance which is going outside. Okay? As per science, that's what it is. It's just random, as per modern science, or at least the theory of science. But if you know probability, how many of us are here from science background or math background? You have studied some statistics, or there's something called as probability, right? Like you put a dice. Dice, dice. It's marked 1 to 6. You put the dice. The probability of getting 1 to 6 is random, right? You toss a coin, you get head or a tail. It's usually a random process. So when there is a random process, the outcome is equally likely, meaning that the probability of getting head is same as probability of getting tail if the coin is unbiased. The coin is neutral, toss 50 times. If you do it 100 times, 50 times around is head, 50 times is tail. And it's a random event. So outcome needs to be equally likely. When you put a dice, 1 to 6, all of them have probability of 1 over 6. I'm being very mathematical now. It's important for you to understand. So that's the meaning of probability, meaning the outcomes need to be random in an equally likely manner. All the possible outcomes need to be equally likely. It cannot be that you put a dice, 6 comes 5 times, right? And then other numbers come 1 time. It cannot be like that. That's not a random event anymore. Yeah. To call any event a random event in terms of science, outcomes need to be equally likely. All the outcomes. So now let's just discuss about life in general. How many of us want to really get corona and just get sick tomorrow? How many of us? I really, really wish that I get so sick tomorrow, like so sick that I'm in the bed and I just don't get up. Anybody? No? No? Really? Just you don't really want to get corona? Just really suffering. You suffer really. What? Yeah, you had, but now are you feeling now that you should get tomorrow? You should just be on the bed, just sweating and 100 degree Fahrenheit temperature, 103, 104. We don't feel like that, right? Majority of people don't feel like that, right? Majority of people don't feel like suffering at all. Majority of people do wish to become happy. Do you agree with that? And we actually strive to become happy. There is always a desire to become happy. There's always a push. I want to make myself comfortable, a bit more relaxing, a bit more happy. I want to enjoy. Is this making sense? The majority of people are actually wishing like this. I want to become happy. Right? When that's the situation, this is scientifically proven now that whatever is going on outside is not really a random event. Because if it was a random event, half of the world population out of 7.5 billion, 3.75 billion people should have been waiting to become suffering really. Because majority of the people are not really wanting to become suffering, this is not a random event. Very simple. There is something which is there which we don't know. Let's accept that. It's okay. I don't know how it is done. It's fine. So a sage would start questioning himself, what's going on really? What is the source? Right? What exactly is there a control here? Is there at all some sort of order? Right? So you take a microscopic atom or subatomic particles, you look at the gigantic universe. There is some order there. Right? So sage would do research inside his heart to figure answers for these questions. Shamik Rishi was like that, but his son was not like that. He was a proud son of a great sage. So when Shringi was his name, so this is the third name today, Shringi. Okay. When he saw that his father was not treated very well, he cursed Parikshit that this king, who is not really respectful towards sages, should die in a week. 1 week. Yeah. So this is the story from Srimad Bhagavatam. We discussed this at length last week. I just wanted to build it up and bridge the gap so that we can continue the discussion for today. So you followed what happened, right? Parikshit, Shamik Rishi, Shringi. Parikshit, he was a great personality. He was really strong. He could really withstand that curse and negated it, but he chose to accept it, meaning that he had 7 days to live. Now, dear friends, it's a question to you. If you have 7 days to live, what would you want to do in your life? Yeah? Is the question clear? Can we meditate on this just for next few moments? Just close your eyes if you want. Imagine you have 7 days to live. Today is Friday evening, August 1st, 2024. You have until Friday evening, August 8th, 2024. Next week, Friday evening, I don't know, around 7:45 now perhaps. That's your time. What would you want to do in your life? Yeah. Just meditate, and as soon as you have an answer, you can start shouting out. Okay. So Sri Padmavati wants to go to Vrindavan. This is the holy land of India. She wants to go to Vrindavan straight away. Okay, good. Anyone else has an answer? You want to get enlightened, Geeta? To realize, okay, how do you want to do it, Geeta?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I pray for grace.
Okay, you'll start praying for grace.
There's nothing to do, so it's on the same day.
Sure, yes, okay. What else? Who else want to shout? Just, floor is yours, okay? And don't feel intimidated. It's just a simulation. It's not a real situation. It's a simulation of what could be our situation if we were Parikshit. Yeah. You want to spend time with family? Okay. Your family is here, Robin? Okay, good. Great. Veronica, what do you want to do?
There are 2 things, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make them in a week. Go to Peru and be with my family.
Okay.
And go to India and...
They are 2 different parts of the world.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. So maybe you should perhaps get your family from Peru to go to India and then, okay, good. Anyone else? What do you want to do? Yes, Arka. What do you want to do? You have 7 days. First flight to India tomorrow morning? Tonight? Okay. Nilambara, leave me alone. I'm out. I'm going already. My half weight is outside already. Okay, good. Yes, and then? You don't know. Oh, you think it's a flight. Okay, you have 10 hours to think. Good. Okay. Yes, who else want to share? Debbie, what would you want to do?
Be with my friends.
Okay. Next 7 days?
Yeah.
You have them here in town?
Most of them.
Most of them are here. Okay, good. Aurora.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I would just keep on living like I do now.
Okay, just continue with the way how things are going. Good, very nice. Good. Yes. Anyone else want to share? Asmita, what do you want to do?
I think I'll hand over my responsibilities.
Louder. I just can't hear.
I think I'll hand over my responsibilities.
Which responsibilities?
Maybe I want to my brother or
Okay.
and then I'll just save the phone.
Okay. Good. Anyone else? Yes? Yoga? No? By the way, the flashlight is on. I don't know if you have done it yourself. For the camera, the flashlight is on. Yes. Thank you. So, maybe you can turn on the lights of the room. That's perhaps is better. It's becoming darker. That's one. There is also switches in the back, I guess. None of them are working? Okay.
It's the other way around. You will.
Okay, they're also on. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? What do you want to do? Yes, Yoga.
I can go to Vrindavan right now,
Yes.
so I will just extra chanting,
Will do.
reading, to leave some instructions for my family, and write some letters to
Okay.
some people.
Okay. Quite a lot of things. Now I'll ask a more interesting question. Imagine you have 1 hour to live. What would you want to do? 1 hour. What's the time, Marka? 7:45? 8 o'clock? You have until 9 to live. What do you want to do?
Go to some cricket.
Pick your phone. Bye.
Same things.
The reason I'm asking this question is because in our life, so many times we get bogged down in our mind for such petty things which are going on in life. I was walking, I saw Veronica, she didn't say hi, I'm so upset. Right? Isn't it normal that we feel like this so many times, right? Like so many interpersonal issues with family and friends and other things. Mind is just blocked so many times, it's just blocked. One of the characteristics of our generation, we discussed this a couple of weeks ago, is we are always in anxiety. It does not matter how much we have. It really does not matter what all we have, how many gadgets we have. It doesn't matter. We are always anxious. Just keep thinking, I just want this one more. Yeah. I get this and then I want something else. Right? That's the characteristic of our generation. So all those desires, all those, whether they are positive or negative or whatever, they become insignificant with reference to this point of arrival. It's 1 hour or 1 week or whatever. Right? So Parikshit was in reality put in this situation now. He is told, you have 1 week to live. And he had no idea. What should he do? So he just, as first thing, he just gave away his kingdom. He was an emperor. Just put his son as the king. Just, you take care of it. He just wore simple garments, went to the bank of a holy river called as Ganga. In India, there is a holy river called as Ganga. Flows from Himalayas. So he goes to the banks of that, and then all the sages, they themselves came there because they wanted to just witness what's going to happen with Parikshit. And Parikshit asked all of them one question. Yeah, that's one question. I'm going to die in 7 days. What should I do? I don't know what I should do. I have 1 week to live. What should I do? And all these, like who is who of sages, they're all present. Vyasadeva is there, Narada Muni is there, Asita, Devala, everybody is there. And Parikshit asked this question. And they all chose the son of Vyasa. Vyasa is a sage who has composed all the Vedic literatures. This is the 4th name for you today, Vyasa. And his son, his name was Shukadeva. We'll try that. So all the sages appointed Shukadev as the person who is going to answer these questions of Parikshit. So Shukadev was given the position of a guru, and Parikshit sat next to him. In Vedic way of learning, this is how traditionally teaching is being done. A guru teaches to the student just by next to each other. And Parikshit started asking questions. So he asked this question, what should I do? I have 7 days to live. But then, because Parikshit was an intelligent person, he understood that this question doesn't have too much of significance because why? Think. He thought to himself that hey, this question is not having real significance because people in general, they don't get to know about a week also, an hour also, or 1 year also, or 10 years also, or 50 years. No one gets to know, right? So that question is irrelevant. Most important question is, what should you do when you are alive, not when you are about to die? Right? That's an irrelevant question. Most relevant question is, what should you do? How should you live when you're alive? So he changed his question a little bit. So first question was, what should you do when you are about to die? And he adapted. Thank you for coming. Maybe we should open the back door, Yoga. And there's a door in the back also. Right?
This phone?
Close, yes.
How?
Is the story clear so far? Is it making sense what we are discussing? So the question was, how should you live? That was the question. And Shukadev, being an expert guru, an expert teacher, he tells that your life should be in a way that it's not in fragments. You can't be living a fragmented life. Your life needs to be a continuum in which it's totally dedicated towards Krishna in bhakti all the time. Now, bhakti means love, basically. It's the simplest translation of bhakti is love. You love the supreme divinity whom we address as Krishna. It's just that. So, Shukadev tells, you need to love Krishna continuously, to serve Krishna, and through Krishna, everyone else, all the living entities, not just, yeah, I like Veronica, I like Debbie, yeah, I'm friends with them, but everyone else, you need to be friends with entirety of all living entities, not just humans, everyone. And understanding their position, being friends with them. That's how one should live. And the story continues, of course. Right? That's the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. It's 18,000 verses. 18,000. Gita is just 700 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. So if you start studying it today, if you do one verse a day, it will take you 18,000 days. That's around, say, 2.5 to 1 year is 365 days, so 1,000 is 2.5 years. So 10,000 is 25 years? Yeah, 50 years if you do one verse a day. I think I make. Can somebody do quick calculation? 18,000 divided by 365? Around 50, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So that many number of years, but I think we should do it a bit more. First time, and we in our Bhakti Space discussions, we'll try to discuss a few things from Srimad Bhagavatam so that we can learn a bit more. So the whole question is, how do we love Krishna? How do we really serve Krishna? How do we serve everyone? How do we become friends with everyone? How do we really share our hearts in a way that we become a person who is conscious all the time, not just sometimes? Yeah, I have a spiritual practice. I do some yoga and meditation every day. And the rest of the day, it depends on where I am. That's how I function. Right? That's not how one should live. Constantly. The example is given how if you are pouring like a peanut oil from the bottle, there is no breaks in between, right? It just flows in a continuous manner. It doesn't break. One's consciousness should be like that. There is also an explanation like how, I don't know if you have seen crystal clear water somewhere, Croatia maybe, like crystal clear, you can look through. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it's described a person who is fully conscious, his heart, no, they don't tell that his heart is like, or her heart is like crystal clear water. The way it is told is the crystal clear water is like the person who is fully conscious. Is what is it called as in English also there is this comparison, right? In Sanskrit it's called as upamalankara, that you compare two items, right? The one you are comparing with, the object which you are comparing. Not analogous, it's similar. Anyway, so one you are comparing, the other is compared with, right? So crystal clear water is not compared with a person's pure consciousness. Somebody who is really, really, really pure, it's not telling, oh, his heart is like the crystal clear water. No, crystal clear water is like a person who is fully conscious, right? The other way around. So that's our goal, that we want to achieve like that, to become really conscious of our actions, then be Krishna conscious all the time.
Can we ask a question?
Go ahead.
I was triggered by what you said about being friends.
Yes.
To be friends with everybody, serve everybody.
Yes.
But I've also heard about this story, maybe it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, about serving the tree and the roots.
Yes.
When you feed the roots, it will benefit
Yes.
to the.
Yes.
But if you serve the broken branches who are not, not in connection with the whole, then you're actually serving nothing. So is it really? How does that relate with being friends with everybody and serving everybody? Should you really serve everybody, even if they're not connected?
So at this point of time, if I tell you that, you just need to serve Krishna alone, you have no idea who is Krishna, right? How will you serve Krishna?
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
So you need to, but you need to serve. If I just tell you, I end my session today, you need to serve Krishna, but you have no idea who is Krishna. You know who is Veronica, you know who is Debbie, and your name, sorry, I forgot. Emil. And you know who is Robin, right? You can get to know at least, even if you don't know, and then it's easier to start with this, right? With the understanding that yes, I want to not just have an association in which we just go for a football match together, right? But something which is more deeper. Having association is not just about enjoying worldly affairs together. It's about something which is more deeper. Sharing our hearts, listening to other person's hearts, and uplifting each other. That's the real meaning of association. So that's more effective, and that's how eventually you can grow, and you can also realize Krishna one day. Because right now, it's an abstract entity for you. If I just tell, serve Krishna, but what does that mean? Where do we start? You need to start here. You can't just transport yourself to something which you are not. We can't be imitating in our bhakti practice. So one of the dangers of not fully realizing is that we may get sidetracked. I may just start imagining, hallucinating that, oh, I'm already with Krishna. Right? But it will be real. Very real, very practical. Friends, I can serve. Okay? So that's something which is more real then, and then you can start feeling it then. Yeah? Just like for a mother, if there is we have a newborn now, as I said. uh, I had never had this experience before, right? I know what does it mean to actually serve a baby. Now I need to get up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the night, and like, my head is swimming. I just called like a half hour ago to Asmita and Yoga, and I told her and told them that maybe I'm late today. I was supposed to pick Preeti, and I told Preeti that I can't pick you. You come here, because I didn't really have good sleep yesterday night, and whole day we're busy. But it's still, I'm still happy, right? Because there is a small baby which we are serving, right? So it's practical, it's real. I can't just write PhD thesis about it without having a baby. If I don't have a baby, I can't really get to know what does it mean, right? When we have it, then you know, right? It's very practical. So same with Krishna. If you are with Krishna, then I don't need to speculate, philosophize it, and all these things. But right now, what's practical, what's real, is that I'm here in this room. When I go out, I have a life, and how do I make that life spiritual consistently? That's the goal of life. Yeah. Good. Any other thoughts? I know it's a bit too much. Oh, I don't know what to make out of this session today. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah,
Sure.
And so, to me, it is also being true to yourself, so you can be honest and true to one another, where you're surfing in truth and not surfing because you think you're doing good. No, it has to come from the inside out. Maybe, they say like, okay, first do it until you feel it. But
Yes.
For me, it's like you serve in a way of truth,
Yes.
It's like I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I feel that is maybe the biggest lesson that we can learn in this society, to
Sure.
be honest. And that is not always liked by someone.
Yeah.
If we can say it with compassion and with love, then it's like usually it's also taken very beautifully by the other, and if not, it's also inner work for the other. We should not take it personally.
Yes.
That's really how I have to it.
And it's also not just humans, also Aurora, right? It's also other entities. There are so many other species around which we can serve, we can connect ourselves with, and in those relationships, if we are really invested into the relationship, we can actually find divinity there eventually, if our focus is clear. If the focus is I want to enjoy, we will never ever go to spirituality. Many times people come to spirituality with this thought, I want to enjoy. Yeah, I'll do some yoga, I'll do some meditation, I can enjoy better. I'll become more fit, so I can enjoy better. Right? So if the goal is just still me and mine and my own understanding of life and my own projections of what is happiness, yeah, that's not spirituality. On the other hand, if we are thinking, no, what can I learn in these situations? How can I serve in this situation? How can I connect myself with spirituality, no matter where I am, how I am? In those situations, we can start, and then, as such, everything is that branch of the tree which you are telling. Right? So no matter whom you are connecting with, you're still pouring the water to the root, because the consciousness matters. It's not the action which is really what is mattering that much. I may be sweeping this floor afterwards just to clean it up and then to go back, right? If done in the right consciousness, that's a service. But if I'm thinking, why should I do this? Oh, why can't Veronica do this? Why should I do this? Oh, I did this last week.
But if you do it anyway.
If you do it anyways,
it's not good.
it is okay still, but consciousness is what matters, right? Action does not matter. That's the secondary priority, secondary important thing. Consciousness is what matters most. You may be doing whatever then. Right? Just being conscious and being aware of time, place and circumstances and functioning accordingly is what is intelligence basically. That's a human being. Okay? How are we with the time? What's the time now? 8:15. Good. Any other thoughts? Any other, whatever came to your mind as we were discussing the stories? Who remembers the names? Parikshit. That's the last name, which there are in between names, right? Shamika, okay. His son. That was a difficult one. Shringi. Good. We're making it. Yes, next. His father first. Vyasa, one who compiled all the Vedic literatures. And then his son was Shuka, and then they started talking. Anybody want to share anything? How was it? How did you feel? Is this something which is useful? Let's do like this. Everybody needs to speak. Right? At least something, so that it's a good group discussion. Then let's start from the back. Yes. I don't know who is. Yeah, Vasanta, come on. Anything, whatever you liked from the session. If you liked at all, anything.
The one which you explained today, this I heard in the temple as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Everyone, when the Prabhuji asked it, Maharaj asked the question, everyone started telling the same thing. I will go to Vrindavan, I meditate.
Yes.
But my mind was still stuck with the fact that I will do my responsibility and transfer the thing, so yet I go to India.
Okay.
I feel bad that I'm still in the same situation.
That's okay. It's fine. No problem.
The same mindset I have. It's not changed.
It's totally fine. Eventually, one day, life is so interesting that, like for example, if I ask any of you, what's your age? You don't need to tell me, but you all know what's your age, right? But that statistic is insignificant. It's just useless statistic. More significant statistic would have been Ash. Statistic, huh?
Conscious line now.
No, just in the same line of age, right? Age is a number, right? But that number is insignificant. It's a useless number as such, because it's gone. Sarthak, I don't know, it's 27 years, 28 years. What do we do with this number? 28. It's gone. Can you go back and do something about it? No. What's the more significant number? How many more years you have? That's more significant, right? You can do something about it. And interestingly, think none of us know. Right? None of us. You just don't have any idea. Parikshit somehow got to know that he had 7 days, but we have no idea. Right? So then life becomes interesting, and that's why the questions also become interesting, because that's about then your moment by moment by moment life, how you live. Yeah. Good. So at some point of time we'll improve. Don't worry, Vasanta.
What
Yes.
happened to the king?
Good. You need to come next week, Geeta. Can you come next week? For sure. Good. Yes. This for next week. Yes. Yeah, next week. At least I have to leave something, right? So otherwise, yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts? Yes,
I have
Veronica.
one. I know it's maybe a very difficult one.
Sure.
How do you start knowing Krishna?
Very good question. How do you start knowing Krishna? Because these sages, they did so much of research for years together, and then somehow they figured out, and we are not in that situation. We live a complicated life. Right? I'm an engineer. Veronica is an Ayurvedic practitioner. Robin also does Ayurveda, I guess, right? Something. You live it. Yogamaya is a business. That's your background, communications, something like that, right? Yeah. You're mostly just in a world which is so complicated. There is so much of competition. So, how do we be Krishna conscious, or how do we become spiritual in this sort of complicated world right now? Some simple things which can get started in the process. One which is very, very powerful is what we did in the beginning, is the mantra yajna. Right? Sitting together, having a space in your life, a time in your life, which you are just with yourself and the mantras. And ultimately, even the modern science also agrees that sound is the cause of the universe. Right? So you need to be able to connect with that sound. But right now, I'm connecting with all the noise around. In the olden days, there used to be radios. A radio, you had to like tune in. I don't know if you have seen this, like really long ago, like 30, 40 years ago. You had to tune. There used to be a bar. It was like 800 megahertz, 60 megahertz, 900 megahertz, and you have to tune. And there used to be like radio channels and in particular frequencies. And when you really tune to the actual channel's frequency, then there is whatever coming in the radio station. Okay, you still have it. So you have to really tune to the actual frequency to hear to the radio station. Right? So similarly, our mind is just all over the places. There is also a lot of noise outside, but there is also a spiritual sound vibration outside in the ether. And I need to be able to sync with that, and for that I need to be able to remove all the noise, all the clutters, and that's a practice. So I need to be able to sit down, be enthusiastic about it, because as I said in the beginning, perhaps you'll not become Buddha tomorrow morning. So it's very easy to get, I'm doing it since last 1 year, 2 years, nothing is really clicking, because perhaps our intent is also not that much. Our time, how much we are giving, is not that much. If we do it 24/7, it will happen very quickly, but somehow we are not in that space yet. So we need to be able to find small space. It's like going to a gym. If you are going to the gym, if you're going for the first day, let's say, I don't think anybody will go and start lifting 100 kilos. Right? All your muscles will break if you start lifting 100 kilos first day. You start with like 2 kilos, maybe 3 kilos, right? Dumbbells, and you start doing this. Right? Yes or no? Yes. Right? 2 kilos, but yeah, it's insignificant. But if you just keep doing it for a week, two things happen. Your muscles become stronger, right? And with that stronger muscle, you can lift them maybe 4 kilos. So you can start doing 4 kilos exercise. And you do it for a few weeks, muscles are much more stronger, you can lift maybe 8 kilos, right? And eventually, maybe you'll become a heavyweight. You'll go to Olympics maybe, right? Lifting 100 kilos. Even those athletes, they did not start with 100 kilos, they started with small weights. So same with spirituality. Start small. Let your mind be fed with mantras and get purified little by little. You may not be able to perceive the difference perhaps on a day-by-day basis, but if you look back like 6 months in back, 8 months in back, 2 years in back, then you'll be able to see significant improvements. Yeah. So small steps, baby steps, daily basis, consistent, that's how we begin. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts?
good question.
Yes. Maybe we'll let everybody else get a chance. I'll come back if nobody has. Yeah. What's your name? The one who is in the center. I didn't speak to you. What's your name? Huh?
Disha.
Disha?
Yes.
Okay. You have any questions?
No, I'm still absorbing.
You're still absorbing? Good.
Okay.
Okay. No problems. Want to share anything? If you liked something?
No, I really like the entire the vibe and the process. And I'm Asmita's flatmate, so
Okay.
she keeps giving me a download.
Oh, good.
I actually knew the story as well. She told me from last time, so I knew
Okay.
the name.
Very nice. Thank you.
But I want to experience it myself. So it's really
Good. Will you come next week?
for sure.
Dia, you want to share anything?
Yeah, I think I realized the things that really matter when I was like 1 week left. So then I didn't want to go for shopping or just,
Yeah.
then I just really wanted to be myself and do things which I've never done before.
Yes.
Just to completely express myself.
Yeah.
So I completely realized things which really matter and I need to focus on that than inwards.
Yeah, that's a really strong realization because, if things don't matter when we have 1 week to live, they should not matter now also, right? That's common sense, right? If something doesn't make sense when we have limited period to live, it should not make sense now also. So I need to be able to look at everything from that perspective and really choose how am I putting my mind, where is it really? Where is it being invested? If it is just invested in hatred, jealousy, lust, anger, greed, if that's where my mind is stuck all the time, and if those things don't make sense when I have limited time to live, they should not be making sense now also. I should be able to just declutter, denoise, okay, throw it out. Yeah. And mantras can actually really help you in that process. That's a very good understanding. Thank you. Who didn't speak? Arka, you want to share anything?
Yeah, I mean, 7 days, I cannot do anything, but if you increase it 70, 700,
Yes.
then a larger question comes up, which is doable.
Okay.
So, 7, nothing is possible. Just go home.
You also already give up, right? Just go home, eat some nice paneer and. Okay.
70 and 700, and still something will be done.
More important thing is if it is 1 hour, Arka, think about it. That's when you can actually start become spiritual. Your mind will really get hooked onto that question. What do I want to do if I have 1 hour?
Then you order close to it.
What all do I want to prioritize? How many things? How many people? How many social media scrolls I want to do? Right? I have 1 hour to live. How much do I want to scroll? Right? How many reels?
If you don't mind me asking what to do. Yeah,
What would I do? Good. So, I'll share something which is very personal. I hope I'll get that experience again in life, but once, this was like 3 years ago, I love water. I really love water. However, I don't know swimming. Okay, I don't know swimming. I love water. So we were in Veronica. Please help me. There is a lake next to Harlem. What is it called as? Blomandal Lake. So we were in Blomandal Lake. It's near Anzi. What is the Anzi there?
Sanford.
Sanford. Yeah, it's near Sanford, Anzi. And so I'm in this lake with a friend's family, and as I love water, I usually get in the water also, and I usually would go until my knee height, right? But on this day, it was like this day, right? Really warm, and I ended up going a bit further. And there were a lot of people also, so I'm also, I knew there were enough people, so I ended up walking. And at some point of time, water was at my chest level. Yeah. And but I am not realizing it still, right? Because I'm just getting carried away with just being happy with the water. Then at some point of time, I thought I want to look, and all the time I'm just facing the beach, so there are enough people as a point of reference. Right? Then I thought I want to see what's the back, so I turned, and just huge amount of water, and I got scared because there was not many people there. I hardly saw anybody, so I thought it's just too scary. And then I became conscious that water is still very high, so I wanted to turn back. And when I turned back, water was here. Right? I don't do swimming, and I'm like frantically like this. And the more I tried to do it, I was just sinking. And then I realized, like, so many thoughts came to my mind, like, oh, yeah, now somebody will come and drag me out, or But then it's like a train of thoughts which kept on coming. And soon I realized I'm not going to win this battle with this water. Just became still, very calm, and I just said, Krishna, I'm very grateful to whatever you have given so far to me. I'm ready for the next phase of life. I'm ready, because death is just a change in circumstances. Right? It is really not life does not end there. It's just change in circumstances. So I just became calm and the moment I became like that, I don't know, somehow miraculously just came out. Maybe that's what was needed. I just had to become calm, maybe. So I just came out, and this happened. Your name again? Sorry, I forgot. Disha. After like 20 years of practice, right? I have been doing it since quite a lot of time, and quite sincerely. And this is how it was. So I have faced it firsthand. And I had to let things go. I had to really understand, yes, this is the end. Nobody's going to come here. No one is going to drag me out, because no one came. I was like, literally, it was a near-death experience. And so I was fortunate to have that experience. It gave me a lot of perspectives about life. So actually, I can lead these discussions. Otherwise, it would have been really theoretical discussions. Just philosophical, and somebody just read something, but I do have an experience of what it means to just let go and just, okay, I'm prepared for the next step now, right? So yeah, so I don't know if that's going to be the same thing next time. I don't know, because at least in last instance I did A+. Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to be the same next time when similar experience comes. I wish for it, I hope for it, but I don't know. But that's what ultimately we should really, live like. It's not about what do we do when we're in the last stage. So if you look at my life, I would rather speak about that than speaking some hypothetical things. So in my life, what I do is I'm a CTO in a company. I have a PhD. I work in a technical environment. However, I try to be spiritual. Not that I'm spiritual only in this assembly when I give sessions. I try to be spiritual irrespective of where I am. I try to dedicate my life in service. We do these sessions like 6 days a week. Every day, more or less, we have somewhere or the other. These programs going on in Amstelveen, in Althon, in Eindhoven, in Amsterdam, different places, in our home. So that's more interesting for me, that how do I live my life, moment by moment. And so many times, because I'm in touch with people all the time, people are always irrational. Right? You can't really put a framework around people. And I deal with a lot of people. You can't really put, okay, this is how it is. So many of the times, they just end up doing something else. Right? So do you get carried away? Do you become angry? Do you become, do you blast them out? What do you do? Right? Whether at work or in spiritual circles or wherever. Right? Sometimes we run events in which we serve. Like a few weeks ago, we had a cart festival in Amsterdam. We pulled Jagannath deities in the streets of Amsterdam. We served 5,000 people. 5,000 people we served lunch. And you can imagine the scale of this effort, and how many times you can become just okay, done, right? Okay. And in next few weeks we'll be serving 1,500 people in few different places in Eindhoven in Amsterdam, because it's the birthday of Krishna. It's Krishna Janmashtami. We celebrate in a church. Thousands of people come. These are huge projects, and you're leading it, and also with people who are, as I said, are irrational most of the times. Right? Everybody has their own life going on, and service is always voluntary, so nobody's being paid. I'm not being paid. We all do it voluntarily, so things happen. How do you react? What do you do? Moment by moment by moment. So I try to be a mindful person. I try. I fail many times. I try. That's what I do. Okay? Perhaps it's a good stage now to take dinner. Yeah. Oh. Yes, Vasanta. Vasanta wanted to say something.
When you explained your situation in the beach, that series of thought, you didn't have the thought about Krishna, just give me one chance that I'll clear out my responsibility, my family, parents, nothing.
You don't have that time, Vasanta. You will only realize it when you are there. It's just that time is not there. It's just not there.
We have to clear that stuff before.
You have. If it is coming like that, you really don't have the time. I can't put it into words like how exactly it was. I can't explain it. I don't think anybody can explain this. But it's a fraction. You have to really figure out what you want to do in that fraction and just do that. And as I said, I was fortunate to experience it. I don't know if I'll be the same person next time. I really hope for it, but I don't know. Yeah. Yes, last thing, Preeti.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
But I wanted to get into the practical side of it.
Yes.
Yes, you surrendered and everything. But at one moment you were sinking and you surrendered and you came out.
Yes.
How?
I don't know how I came out. Right? I have no idea. As I said, I can't put it into words. My wife and everybody else, they thought I have drowned and have died. So they have. My wife ran like Usain Bolt that day. What my friends told. She was sitting far away, and then she saw that this guy is submerged and he's crying for help, and nothing happened. She ran, it seems, to the shore on the beach where water comes. But as I said, I don't know what all happened. What I do know is I'm out and I'm living now, so I better focus on how do I live, right? So, good. Let's go for dinner. We have. Oh yes, Aurora also had.
Question floated away.
Okay, good. And we have next week again, and next week we'll have Kirtan. Yeah, so we'll end with Kirtan usually, like with musical instruments and yeah. But today, because we don't have Kirtan, maybe we can just take a minute so that you all can absorb all the things which are going on, all the whatever you might have liked today. Just contemplate about it. Just breathe a few conscious breaths. Just be grateful towards each other for this association, for this environment. Let's recite an Om all together. Deep breath in. Om. Thank you.